Hey, how you doing, man? I'm FAZZ from High as Hell, way down south in freezing cold Victoria. This right here is our vinyl of our debut album, Razorblade Dream, which we are launching next Friday, the 25th of November, with a stacked lineup. It's going to be ace.
Yeah,
How are you, Crispy?
I'm good, brother. Yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Thanks for joining
Warmed
us today,
up.
mate. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. So, as you mentioned, HELLMAN are planning the vinyl release of your debut album, Razorblade Dream, with a special show with the Old Bar in Melbourne on November 25th. So, tell us a bit about the show and what to expect.
Yeah, it's going to be, in my eyes, this one's going to be one for the ages for us. This is, fully stacked lineup. I know people say this shit all the time, but the bands on this bill are literally all of my favourite local bands. We've got Flying Dutchman. They're going to open the night up. We've got the Balls, these motherfuckers right here, and Duneeater, man. All these bands are, definitely all of our favourites, man. So it's going to be a very cool night. I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool. And the initial release of Razorblade Dream was in the dark period in the world called COVID, mate, which is why you're re-releasing again now the world has opened up. But it's a good idea to do it by releasing the album on vinyl. Like, you're not actually re-releasing the original one, you're re-releasing the vinyl. So it's a nice way to do it.
It's got to be done, man. People still love having that hard copy of music. There's still a lot of old school crew out there, and even the younger crew. It's just good to have artwork and just something in your hand.
And are they going to be available to purchase on the night, or is it going to be a pre-order link sort of thing?
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, we'll have the full merch stand going. That's become a huge thing for us since having Youngie on board.
Yeah, he's good at it, eh?
We all know that he's mad about his merch and he does it well. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that we've learned from him, and it's going really well. So yeah, good.
I remember being on the road with King Parrot once, and I asked him if he wanted a hand with the merch, and the only time I could step foot behind it was when he was actually on stage. Other than that, he's like, no, I've got it, it's mine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's his shit. Hey, and he's just so good at it. I remember, I think when we were in Sydney with him at Frankie's, and I overheard him making a sale to this chick, and she was looking at the fluoro, the high vis vest, and she's like, I'm an Aaron, and he said to her, it's not just a fluoro vest, it's the safest fluoro vest out there. It'll keep you the safest.
And did that get him over the line?
Definitely. He's got the gift of the gab, that's for sure.
Oh, shit. So back to your album, mate. Like, what was that period like after the initial release of Razorblade Dream? Like, you had an awesome album out, but you basically couldn't do anything with it. Like, was it frustrating?
Oh, man. It was a fucking dark time. It was a dark time for everybody. But in terms of what we were doing in our little world, yeah, it was super frustrating, man, because we'd been kind of sitting on it for a while, and, the whole mixing process took quite a while, and then we were kind of lining our ducks up, getting ready for this release, and then fucking COVID hit, and then it was kind of like, oh, we don't really know what's happening. No one really knows what the fuck's going on in this world. How long do we wait? And then we waited and waited, and it was like, all right, this thing looks like it's going to be ongoing for quite some time. So let's just throw it out there, man, and just keep moving forward, So, yeah, it was shit. We weren't able to go out and play shows to back it up. And there was the odd show, but yeah, we couldn't sort of tee up any tours or anything like that. So yeah, it definitely sucked, man. But it's great to be kind of closing off this whole chapter and getting ready to move forward, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to getting this next album out. Next one's going to be good. We're really looking forward to it.
And then what about the writing of Razorblade Dream? Like, was that written during COVID as well?
No, man. So this album, we've actually been it's quite a few years old now. So I think we recorded it. We were trying to work it out the other day, and because post-COVID time is all fucked up. We couldn't quite work it out, but I'm pretty sure it was January 2018 we recorded this album. So I wrote all these songs throughout like 2017 or 2017, I think we call it now. So yeah, they're quite a few years old now, man.
Shit, eh?
I wrote most of the new songs that will be on the next album through the lockdown.
Right.
So yeah, there's a bit more edge to those, as you can imagine.
I bet. We'll move on to that a bit later, but we'll finish this cycle off first. So you've actually since got to play a few of those songs extensively on East Coast shows. So which ones go down best live?
Oh man, look, Big River is always a pretty big hit, I guess. And that's definitely a fun one to play. It's funny, man, because like the demographic at our shows are so broad, you know, like you get like 17-year-olds and then you get 45-year-olds and then you get like 70-year-olds who are definitely into it. So like keeping that demographic in mind, I guess there's like a little bit of something for everyone. So, you know, like a lot of the old school crew love songs like Powerwolf, Razorblade Dream, the song, like that usually sort of, you know, gets the party started. So, yeah, I guess that's probably a pretty fun one to play, man.
So just say that someone out there is like they're pretty new to High as Hell and they're coming down for this launch for Razorblade Dream on vinyl. How would you describe the album from a musical point of view?
Man, it's that's a tough one because what we thought it was in the beginning is not kind of not what it is now in our mind. So it's hard, man, because you know a lot of people call it metal, a lot of people call it stoner metal, a lot of people call it stoner rock, a lot of people call it heavy rock and roll. So to I don't know, throw a couple of bands in the mix, I usually sort of say to people, I guess it's, you know, somewhere between like Black Sabbath and like Metallica and like maybe a bit of Down and maybe like even a bit of Nirvana is probably the best way I can describe it without, getting into genres.
Well, if I could simplify that a bit for you, mate, like I saw you live when you were up here with King Parrot not long ago, and I'd just say fucking awesome. That's the best way I'd describe it.
Thank you, man. That's cool. Thank you very much.
No worries at all, man. So you mentioned some new songs that you've done too, mate. So they going to be off a new album or off a new EP?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at getting into the studio, hopefully maybe around Feb or March next year. So we've just been sort of sifting through all our new shit and just sort of figuring out, you know, what the best ones are and what's going to work and what kind of direction we sort of want to head in. It's obviously going to be in the same sort of same vein as the first album, but this, you know, album number 2 is going to be next level. So in terms of production anyway, we want it to sound a lot bigger and a lot fatter and so the new tunes, there's kind of a mixed bag going on at the minute. There's a lot of intensity, which is cool. Obviously, like I said before, the new tunes most of them were written during lockdown. So yeah, there's definitely moments of rage, but there's also moments of like, I don't know, man, just kind of confusion and like vulnerability, I guess, and kind of, I don't know, we all kind of feel like we've been manhandled a little bit. So that's all going to come out in the next record.
Oh, and how'd you go writing the songs during COVID? Like, I know a lot of bands like to road test their material as they're writing it to sort of gauge, you know, what the audience thinks, but you wouldn't have had that luxury writing in COVID. So did you find that that was noticeable?
100%, man, 100%. I found that I was kind of in here on my own a lot. It's hard, like, you know, it's hard to get motivated in that situation, you know, when you don't have anyone to bounce off. So I was kind of demoing a lot of shit here on my own and, you know, look, I'll admit, you know, we were kind of sneaking in a few jams here and there and, you know, doing all that sort of shit. So we were keeping the wheels in motion, but Yeah, it was difficult, man. It was hard. Like even now, we're kind of jamming on some of the new tunes, and like we're kind of relearning how to. Everyone's kind of learning their parts because we didn't write them together in the room, kind of thing. So yeah, you just kind of make do, don't you? That's all you got.
That's it, man. And another thing along those lines, like High as Hell, you're a diverse band in that you can fit on a bill alongside any sort of genre, which is what you play a lot. Like when I saw you in Brisbane, you're playing with King Parrot, who were extreme metal. There was Odious, who was thrash, and yourselves. Like, so when you're on the road around so many different sorts of metal bands, does any of that rub off on you? I guess when you're writing, like, does that style sort of come through a bit extra?
Oh, definitely, man. Like probably more. Like probably not. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I guess maybe like the energy of each band is like what's attractive, and it's kind of like, fuck, man, look at these people going insane over this shit. You know, like I wish we could do that, and you kind of feed off that energy. In terms of styles, man, I couldn't. I just couldn't do what Ari and fucking Squizzer are doing and singing. What Youngie's doing. Those dudes are next fucking level, man.
You don't drink enough beer to do what Ari and the Squiz do. That's the problem.
He's very he loves his VP and
focus, let's say.
That's it, man. Bless his fucking cotton socks.
Bless his cotton socks. All right, so you guys have got the vinyl launch of Razorblade Dream coming up at the Old Bar on November 25th. But what else you got to round out the year? I think you got a few other shows too.
Yeah. So we've got we're actually heading to Tassie with King Parrot to see the year out. That's the first weekend of December. So we're playing in Launceston and Hobart with King Parrot, and as I believe one of the shows is sold out, and the other one isn't too far off. So that's going to be heaps of fun. We're really looking forward to it, man. Those King Parrot shows are a lot of fun, man, and their audience, as you know, like diehard King Parrot fans. And they've just been really cool to us as well, man. So, yeah, we're very grateful to that, man.
Beautiful. All right, bro. Well, thanks for your time today. Been a pleasure as always. As mentioned, the Razorblade Dream vinyl release is at the Old Bar in Melbourne on Friday, November 25th. And if you haven't seen High as Hell before, they've got 100% heavy endorsement. They fucking kick ass, so get down there.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much, bro. It's been great chatting to you again.